Okay, everything is filled up, so I'm just going to clean these, and that's it. There's not much to, you know, changing the fluid out of the transfer case. Now, let's go to the front differential and see if that's more fun to do than this. Okay, so I got a regular fluid pump here. That's what I use for everything. So for the front differential, I mean, there's only one plug. The best way to do that, for what I've researched, is to just pump out as much as you can of the old differential fluid, and then pump in, you know, until you fill it and it starts dripping. It's going to be about, I'll confirm, but I think it's 1.8 quarts. Yeah, I think it's 1.8 quarts, but I'll confirm. I'll leave in a video here. So let's try to do this. It's a little bit tricky to access. I've already loosened the plug. The plug is a little bit rusty, and it wasn't hard to loosen, but it's really hard to access. So it's going to be hard for you guys to see, but you know, I'll do my best for you guys to check it out. And it's my first time doing this, so just bear with me. And if you have any tips on how to do this better, just leave them in the comments. You know, we're all going to appreciate, including myself, when I do this the next time. So I'm going to position the camera, so just bear with me. I don't even know if you guys can see this. I got my ratchet in there, and it's a plug that is, it's way up in there. And I've managed to loosen it up, and it's coming out. It's not the easiest positioning of anything, so okay, it should come out by hand now. Just positioning the oil pan here. I don't know why I'm whispering. Probably because I don't want to shout in your ear. Just bear with me. Okay, so the plug came out. Very small plug. And it is dripping a little bit. Interesting. Okay, so I got the plug out. That's good. So now let's start pumping some fluid out, or at least try. I'm not sure if this is going to work. You know, DIYers. Okay, so let me position my pump here. Okay, so I've decided to go with a different setup here. I'm not going to go with the manual pump because it's just too hard to access if you don't have the truck on a lift. So I'm going to go with an air compressor pump to get that fluid off. I don't think I can even film this, guys. It's just too cramped in here, but I'll try. I just shoved it in there. Now I'm going to go with apply pressure, and the compressor might go off, and you guys might go deaf. So, all right, it's coming out. Okay, so I'm done sucking all of the old front differential fluid out, And what really surprised me was what was coming out at the end. It was like this slimy, dark, almost black tar. I wouldn't say it's a tar, but you know, it's not something I was expecting to see coming out of the front differential with only 33,000 miles. So it was a little bit surprising. Let me see if I can open up here. Just bear with me. If I can open up the can here for you to take a look inside. Okay, look at this. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like really dark. It's like really dark fluid. I was expecting to see much better. I don't know if this is just how it normally ages, but I was expecting at 33,000 to see, you know, fluid in better shape. So let me just close out this video, and unfortunately my camera ran out of battery right before I started filling up the front differential fluid. It was no big deal. I just put the pump into the quart bottle. It's not this bottle, it was the 80/90, and I just pumped, you know, 1.8 quarts of fluid, put some thread locker in the clean plug, just torqued it in, 17 foot-pounds of torque, and that's it, and put the covers back on. So that was no big deal. Just wanted to share with you my lessons learned, right? So I'm a DIYer. This is my first time doing that type of service. Lessons learned. First, I would have raised the truck. So even though when I did some research online, people were saying, no, you don't need to lift the truck, you can just crawl underneath it. Unless you're a very skinny guy, thin guy, I recommend you lift the truck. That's not my case. I wish I had lifted the truck. Second, the front differential and the plug, it's in a pretty hard to access spot. So it did not work for me to try to get it with a manual pump. So I needed a much thinner tube to get it way in there, and because I had no space to just manually pump, it was impossible. So I ended up using my air compressor vacuum pump, which is really good. The pump is really good. You saw it, and this is the pump. It's actually a nice pump, but the problem is, in order for you to get enough pressure to pull out the fluid, to suck out the fluid, you need a good compressor. And my compressor is one of those cheap 40 bucks 100 psi compressors. So as soon as you start you pull on the lever and it starts creating vacuum, the pressure drops and it just drips, and it's a thick oil, right? So the fluid is very thick. Had I had the truck on a lift, of course it would be 1,000 times easier, but I'm just a DIYer like most of you guys, so I just crawled underneath the truck, and it was quite challenging. So just keep that in mind. Maybe lift the truck if you're going to do the job. Get a vacuum pump to work on a front differential, and that's it. So if you like this video, if it was useful, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. I have a ton of other things I need to do on my truck. I'm going to keep doing it myself and sharing it with you guys. So if you want to see more videos like this, so consider subscribing. Thank you.